talking, and I mentioned Fiverr. We get stuff done for $5. I got that done last night after I left here for $5. I'll talk a little bit more later about video and how video is important, especially when it dominates the top 10 search results. You know, whether it be to knock competitors out or knock affiliates out or whatever. But at any rate, wanted to show that to you. I thought it was pretty cool. About to be a whole $5 US. So, okay. I get tired of seeing the PowerPoint, so I put a bunch of graphics in here for you guys to entertain and keep you waiting since we're running late lunch today. The first thing I want to talk about that was mentioned yesterday, well, let me back up first. I tend to talk fast because I'm from America. Whether you want to ask a question, raise your hand, or it's just to tell me to slow down, just feel free, please. Sometimes I'll carry on. My mind works faster than my mouth, and it starts to catch up. And, you know. So anyway, feel free to ask me any questions that you want. I've spent no less than 100 hours on this session. I've never put anything together. I've never put my top 12 tips. I do this usually 2 or 3 times a year for the past 6 years. My top 12 tools and my top 12 tricks. And that's what I'm going to cover off in this session. The problem is 100 hours came up with 11,000 words. I can't put those in 30 or 40 slides. White paper is available with all my notes, but you have to excuse me if I refer to this quite a bit because there's a lot of things that I know, but I don't want to skip over. My understanding is that this crowd, mainly e-commerce, but you know a little bit more than the average SEO, which is like on-page stuff, a little bit of off-page, maybe social media, stuff you've heard. You're not sure whether it's a leak or not, whether it's credible, coming from someone credible. Everything that I'm going to tell you today has been tested. I test everything. In fact, I'm maniacal when it comes to testing. I'll test something that I've got a group of other webmasters that I've dealt with for 10 years that, you know, we'll use our websites and servers and sacrificial lambs to test the limits of new algorithm, what we can and can't get away with. And I'll test things that they've told me that they test. So everything that you're going to see here is bona fide. I've done it. It's not that dated, especially in this market. Everything tends to run a little bit behind the UK, just like the UK used to run behind the US. Did you have a question?
Can you speak closer to the microphone?
Yeah, sure, sorry. Let me take this up real quick. Yeah, all right. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is this white hat, black hat thing that came up yesterday. Okay, white hat, black hat. We'll pass over the gray hat for right now. Let's talk about white hat, black hat. Now let's start with black hat because there was no white hat until it was black hat. Black hat was something that came over the years. It included, the black hat category included email spammers. It included people that would put malware on your site. It would be programming affiliates that knew more than they should, doing a 301 or 302 hijack on your site and taking the credit for your traffic. So if you had an affiliate working for you, rather than them go to your site, they would have a redirect and go to their site, therefore they would get credit for it. Malware, taking your information and selling it. Email lists, you know, they make a lot of money. After that, things kind of transition. I mean, the category, the people that fell into that category started growing. You know, they started saying, all right, well, if you're spamming the search engines or your keyword stuffing, that's black hat. Well, that was like 5 or 6, really about 8 or 9 years ago. Well, today, you know, there's so many people in that black hat category, you can't really see yourself clear to figure out what they really are. Well, white hats came along because black hat. Somebody wanted to say I'm an evildoer. Well, to be fair, white hat is no different than black hat. If you do anything to manipulate the rankings, that's black hat. So if you create social media, if you buy links, if you do anything outside of the normal guideline that Google gives you, like if you just create good content every day, maybe do a press release, which, you know, I don't know why you do a press release. That's SEO. That's manipulating the results. So let's kind of clear the air with that, because I'm going to talk about a lot of different stuff, and a lot of these tools can be used for black hat purposes. Now I'm going to talk about how there are individuals that will use these techniques, but it's better to know what your competitors are doing rather than sit there blindly and wonder what happened. So I'm going to cover a lot of that. Am I going talking too fast? Did you hear everything good? Cool? Where's my clicker? Takeaways here are going to be, as I mentioned, I have top 12 tools that I use, the ways to use them. There's hundreds of them out there. These are the ones that I've probably seen every tool or tried every tool out there in years. So these are the ones that I've stuck with consistently. My top 12 tips for the second quarter of 2012, including the Penguin, and the top 12 tricks that every SEO should know. And again, this white paper with these slides will be available on the URL at the bottom, so if you miss anything, you get this whole 25-page document, or whatever it is, I can spell check it for you. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is latent semantics. Latent semantics, you know, they're basically words that are surrounding other words typically in normal conversation. They're related. I use the example of a truck. Well, in the U.S., a truck like Ford, pickup truck, it's called a truck. In Australia, it's called a ute. In the UK, it's called a board. So you've got three completely different words. Google says they can figure out what it is you're talking about. Whether they do that from the IP you're searching from, the language you're searching with, or, I don't know, that's a guess. And that's kind of the gray area with the algorithm. How does that work? You know, yeah, I know I need to put good content in there. You've been saying that for years, for Christ's sake. You know, what else? Like semantics. So the ute, for your information, is also a native tribe in the U.S. And a lorry is a bird. So you have to figure, if you're searching for those terms, unless you're in that country that uses that language, or unless you have IP flagging when they see the IP that you're coming from, they know, or you're searching on a particular search engine like Google.ro, how do they figure these things out? Everything I'm going to talk about, all the tips, all the tools, all the tricks, you'll see pretty much all are centered around latent semantics. Google has said content is king. They've been saying that forever. They still say it today. I agree, content is king, but if content's king, latent semantics are, great dog, because they're not just looking at content, they're looking at related content. They also look at things you can't control. Well, you can to a point, but they're looking at people clicking through your site, the habits of the user. They don't need Google Analytics, AdSense, or any of their tracking codes installed to be able to see this, because you're going to Google search engine, so at least they see if they're going to your site or whether they're bouncing and coming back, going to another site under that same search. They can take the, say, 10% of people out there that are running analytics, or 20%, whatever the figure is, along with the information from AdWords, and they can just compound that times 10 to get a good picture or a good estimate. They don't need everybody. They don't need to know what everybody's doing. They just need to sample it. So, does that affect it? 5 years ago, I would have said no. Today, I say yes. Google wants to see that people are staying on your site, not just good backlinks and good content. They want to see that people are coming to your site and staying there. So that's latent semantics. You should be using latent semantics in everything. On page, off page. Tools, everything that you do, you should do latent semantic analysis before you do anything. You should be using it in your content, your inlinks, outlinks, backlinks, meta tags, image names, URL rewrites, alt tags, subdirectories, file names, subnames, mouse overs, internal linking, navigation. If you have breadcrumbs, you want to do the breadcrumbs. Where this is difficult for a lot of e-commerce is you've got 50,000 products, or you have a product feed, where you've got thousands. Either they don't have descriptions, or they have the same descriptions everybody else has. That's duplicate content, you're going to get dinged for it. So this strategy, although it's extremely time-consuming and expensive, if it were easy and cheap, everybody would be doing it. So, bottom line, you have to make a decision whether you're going to make the investment to do it yourself, outsource it. Somehow you need to get it done. That's how you're going to stand out from your competitor. The other thing I want to mention is I'm talking on global terms. I'm not talking Romanian terms. I'm not talking Malta terms. I'm not talking U.S. or UK terms. I'm talking global when I talk about these things. Romania is a soft market, as far as I'm concerned. The number of searches that you get for top, what we call Hollywood, or top ranking top performing keywords, profitable keywords like cell phones or electronics. The number of searches that you get, I've got companies that get that many searches a day on the website. So everything that I'm going over, it's if you want to take it a step further and go for a global market, as e-commerce, you have that option. Just because you sell one thing doesn't mean you can't sell another. I sell chicken coops, wooden shoes from Holland, miniature pigs from California, because I've got a drop ship. All I do is send people to their site with my affiliate code, have to check. That's typically who I speak to, our affiliates, especially gaming affiliates. So, just so you know a little bit about my background and what everything I'm talking about is based on, it's not Romanian SEO, it's global SEO, but that's really the way that you need to think. Here's another example of semantics. Where query is football, and the US is football. If I had a nickel for every time I fought the English about this the last 5 years I've been there, I'd be rich. In English, football is actually what we call soccer. That's like semantics. They search for Java. It can be the planet, an island in Indonesia, or it could be Java coffee. So how does Google know that? If Java has the same word in multiple languages, how do they know? If I'm in Indonesia, I'm not searching for coffee. That's the algorithm. That's like the semantics. That's that gray area that nobody can really figure out. But you just got to keep plugging away, keep doing it, and somehow it's working. And somehow it works very well. In Mercury, for instance, you get the planet, chemical, and the carbon. Again, if I'm searching for Mercury with the chemical, what's it matter where I'm at? If it's Mercury in one language, it's Mercury in another language, how does Google know that kind of stuff? So these are the things you need to think about when you're considering latent semantics. Is it's not just the exact relevant keyword, but in normal speak, what are the words that normally surround that keyword term? So if you're talking about fashion, whether shoes, Vogue magazine, cosmopolitan, these different words that surround it, Google's looking at all of that rather than just a keyword. Just like they look at your backlinks, because backlinks are one of the biggest things. They always have been that affect your search ranks. They're going to look at the semantics of the backlinks. Are they all one keyword? Well, if they are, then you just got hit by Penguin. Or, actually, I don't think Penguin's been completely released on your data servers, but it will be when it's pushed out. If you see a big drop of Penguin, that's Penguin. And you can start looking at your backlinks, looking at that anchor text. I wouldn't go over 40%. If you are, go out there and start changing them. Look at 30 minutes of one, number one. Okay, talked about a half dozen guys outside session yesterday and mentioned a tool that I wouldn't tell the name. Kind of kept meeting him. I see the draw here. So, tool, it's called HitTail. I helped put this tool together 5 years ago. It was built by a company out of California. They built it for content generation. They wanted to know how people find their site, what terms, so that they could include those terms in their content. And they could watch for niche terms and things like that, or hot topics. anything that brought somebody to their site. And I know it's difficult to see, but this is the time, a minute, this is the keyword, and actually there's another column in here, another window that will tell you the search engine. I don't use it though. But this is real time. So you install this little snippet on your site, log into it, and you can sit there and watch people coming into your site, keyword terms. This is invaluable because people are, number one, already coming to your site. Number two, Google sees that. Most people are using Google, so that's going to be added in with their pool of linked semantic terms or relevant terms. To some extent. Here's another screenshot. Latent semantics can also be called long tail. Long tail is, well, 5 years ago, the average search query was 2 or 3 keywords. 1, 2, 3. People are smarter now, they know what search engines work, they know how they work, they know that they can eliminate a half dozen pages of searching through if they narrow it down. Instead of shoes, one round patent leather shoes in Google. So, search terms are getting longer than queries, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I've seen. This will identify all of them. If they take the hit tail, will identify all of them. If you have 20 keywords to find the site, it's going to show you the 20 keywords now. So it's pretty effective. And if you look here, this is what's called the long tail. There's other graphs you can find out. There's other graphs you can find out that are like this, but for this one, shows you this right here. 60% of traffic is coming from long tail terms. This was it's a client in the Lake District of England. So this is almost always the case, especially with e-commerce and e-tailers, because you've got so many products and so many people name them the same, or name them different things, or the description of it is a different description than somebody else. It could be a different color, model, it could be just a different word that they use. Tool number 2. I mentioned analytics and what Google looks at. Well, Google's looking at it, you need to be looking at it. You need to look at, basic analytics you can get for free through Google. You can also go through hot scripts, click tracks. I use both of them. I use a lot of different tracking tools, like build tracking tools. But Google gives me the ones that I'm concerned about from a non-developer stage, from a SEO stage, or view. And what I care about is that right there, my bounce rate. If your bounce rate is not under 40%, you should be, or you should hire somebody inside or outside to look at your analytics and do some A/B testing. I don't want to over-define everything because I know you're already stupid, but I don't want to talk about something that you don't understand. So pardon me if it comes across that way. A/B testing is testing 2 different pictures, 2 different buttons, 2 different call to actions. Buy now, buy here, sign up here, whatever. Multivariate testing, where it's taking every different section of the site and switching it out with something else until you get the perfect combination. These are things that you need to do to reduce your click, your abandonment, is what you call it in e-commerce, is the cart abandonment. You want to find out why. Where did they go before that? Did they find a competitor that was less? These are all things that you can look at to reduce that bounce rate. But you're going to need to track a lot of things. You can get heat map tracking, eye tracking. You can hire focus groups. You can hire conversion optimization companies. The 12 words I understood in the optimization session yesterday, sounded pretty good, actually good. Unfortunately, I didn't understand too much of the conversion. You need to put money into conversion if these numbers are not panning out for you. Number 3, only wire. This is my 3rd tool. I love this tool. As with anything that I mentioned earlier, everything is going to take a lot of time. This stuff is going to take a lot of time. You can either completely kill your competition here, or you can make a significant impression in other countries if you determine you can outsource and go that route. OnlyWire is a social book marketing tool. The reason I say it takes a while to set up is most people don't have accounts at 45 of these different sites. They have accounts at 4 or 5 tops. They visit 1 or 2. Twitter, whenever they can. Facebook, whenever they're bored. But these are real powerful tools. And the reason being, in a nutshell, Google used to take this much information, which is your on-page stuff, and then anchor text to your backlinks, basically. That was their algorithm until a couple years ago. Latent semantics have been in the picture for 4 or 5 years now. The bottom company down in California, they've been working on it. The reason it's coming out now, and I'm talking about it, is that it's becoming majorly into consideration in Google's algorithms. So, on social book marketing, the difficult part with that is you have to sign up for each one, verify each one, but once you do it once, you're done. This is basically what the interface looks like. And underneath you have a username and password, which I always keep as a tip on the side. I've got tips throughout this document, I'm trying to remember them all. These things you won't learn until you actually use the software, but on this particular piece of software, I would use your same name, username and password. Always leave your password with caps and numbers, because some of them require it, some of them don't. And you just don't want to get into creating 45 different accounts and have a problem with logging in, because when you log into this and you click the button, it goes out and logs into all these accounts. And having to weed out a couple that were wrong or whatever just paints a tip. Always use the same email or username and use the same password for everything. But what OnlyWire does is it creates a button on your site that when you go to the page that you want to rank, you hit that button and it asks you for your keywords and your description, and it automatically submits it to all the sites. Now, what does that do for you? 4 years ago at SMX conference, one of the first ones, I got an argument with Randy Fisher about bookmarks and the significance of them. And I said, you know, I can take top 10 term poker, and we'll do take poker for UK results. I'll pick somebody out of the top 10, like say position 7 or 8, and by the end of the conference, 48 hours, that site will win up at least 1 position. 1 position, one position for the term poker for a company in the UK is worth £100,000 in 1 week. Nearly $500,000 a month for 1 position. Now that position is position 4 to position 3. The reason I say that is when you're in the top 3 of AdWords, or when you're in the top 3 of organic for Google, that's syndicated across other sites. The biggest one being American Online. 60% conversions, double what everybody else is. Retailers,